Huska, you talked a little bit about it tonight, but can you talk about the play of the Pospisil's line right now with Kadri and Kuzmenko and what they're doing for you guys that's helping this team find a way?
They've brought a lot of energy to the way they've played the game, and I think the area that they've had most success has been in the offensive zone, so that's one thing that's probably fairly evident. Posp keeps playing the same way he's played for us all year, where he's a driver on that line. Naz has been Naz. He's competitive, and I think with Kuzi right now, he's feeling more and more comfortable and confident in his ability to make plays with the puck. So, as I mentioned, offensively, they've been the one line for us that's been fairly consistent in generating.
What kind of challenges does Winnipeg present? You've beaten them twice already. But
Yeah, a lot. They're one of the elite teams in the league. Power play is very good. That's one thing we always have to make sure we're aware of when we play against them. And then we have to make sure we're really good with the puck. That's another thing where we don't want to give them too many opportunities off the rush. They're going to get some because they have some really good players that have a lot of skill. But the part that I like about this game more so than anything is we have to stick with our game against a team that's very consistent in how they played their game. So we want to make sure that we're matching that standard here tonight.
What parts of your identity, Ryan, gave the Jets the most difficulty in those two meetings?
The first one I would throw out. I mean, that's the game at the beginning of the year where I thought they were much better and probably deserved a better fate in that game. The last one, once we got through the first period, we gave up the power play goals were an issue for us, but then I thought we settled into our game and we did a good job of managing the puck, managing their rush, and that's one of the big things for us. If we give them a lot of room, they have too many guys on that side that can make you pay, so we want to make sure we're detailed and diligent with that part of our game.
Your team needs a win tonight to stay alive mathematically. Have you as a coaching staff made your players aware of that, or is it something that it doesn't even enter the equation?
We don't talk about it. Players are more aware of things than we are half the times, I find. We've been aware that we're in a real uphill battle for a fairly significant period of time. So for us, it has been all year about the way we have to play and the way we have to prepare for our games, and making sure that we play to the style that we're comfortable with. And we weren't that way our last game against Anaheim, so we want to have a better night tonight.
I'm sure at the outset of the season, Ryan, you didn't want to get into a scenario where you were learning experiences like this, where you're on the playoff periphery. But what kind of things are you learning that you can incorporate to, be more prepared and be more ready for it next year?
Well, there's a lot of things, but for us and our staff and our players, we're not there yet for that type of debrief, I would say. But the one area that has kind of hurt our team and been good for our teams at times this year is the consistency. Both we've been able to string some wins together, but we've also haven't been able to stop the bleeding at certain times. So that's from game to game, it's from shift to shift, and that's something that when you're in close games, you have to count on your guys to do things the right way at the right time to end up with the 2 points instead of losing games by 1 goal. So, that's one thing that we have to make sure we're focused on and we have to do a better job with, and that includes tonight.
Ryan, Sharangovich has 29 goals. What kind of growth have you seen from him?
A lot. I mean, when we knew he was a skilled guy when we brought him over, we also knew he was a guy that was responsible in his own zone. I don't think we envisioned the pushing 30 goals from him, but we knew he was a good player, that when he was given an opportunity to play more of a role, that we were hopeful that he would develop into what he is right now. So he's done a lot of good things for us, and he's worked for it, which is one thing that we really like about it, where early on in the year he was centering our fourth line, and he was bounced around a little bit, but he stuck with it, and I think his game has grown a lot. He's a harder guy to play against. We've asked him to play in the middle of the ice, yet he's still finding a way to generate, so hopefully he can get that number.
That goal production, do you think he can replicate that?
I do. I mean, he has the wrist shot that goal scorers have. He gets it away very quickly, and he's a young guy. And when you put him in situations where he's going to have an opportunity to shoot like the power play or with some offensive players, I think he will.
Brian, what did you appreciate most about Sean Monahan's game, being around him for all those years?
Sean is a true pro. That's maybe even not really so much about his game, but the way he handled himself. And I think Sean, for his time around us and me, made people around him better because of the way he approached his day-to-day work. And I think the one cool thing to see when you watch him play, I hate it and I hope he doesn't do it tonight, but he's turned himself into a really good defensive centerman, not just one that can score, but he wins a lot of faceoffs as well. So I don't want to see him score tonight, and I don't want to see him win faceoffs.
What about the perseverance and what he's had to endure on the adversity side with all the injuries?
You know, and I feel that's been something when he was in Calgary at the end of his time there was a lot of injuries that were creeping into his game, his body. And you give a player like that a lot of credit, and I think that's why he's looked upon as a real good pro.
Shorter tenure, but similar impact on Tyler Toffoli's part for your group?
Sure. I mean, Tyler's won, and you can see in his demeanor a lot of different times how he approaches games. He knows how to win and what you have to do in order to help your team do that.